That wasn't me sneezing. Just letting you know, I'm okay.
Shall we play a game?
That would appear to be time. Hello, Florian, that train guy, Lexic Dark, that train guy again, Mino, Kuminati, Andy Burbridge, and that train guy again. He's here a lot. We're going to have a look at the 218, and if you looked at my channel, you would have just seen the first short from the 218, which gives you just a little bit of an idea of what's coming. And the tutorials will go live in 3, 2, yeah, about now. All right, let's have a look. Let's put you out of your misery. Okay, so if we go to the DB BR 218, there are two things. There's the DB BR 218, which is this thing, and there is also a new n-wagen, which is hiding from me. There it is, the DB Bnrdzf Bnrdzf. Sounds like a German rave to me. There you go. There go my tutorials. They're just gone live now. That is a new version of the Bnrdzf, which is specifically for the 218, or diesel control anyway. Alrighty, been a while, Lexic Dark. I haven't had you to correct my German embarrassingly for ages. So, I just clicked on the 218 into the trains, and its main home is Hamburg-Lübeck, but it also turns up on Maintalbahn, which is the first place I'm going to show it to you, and HMA, and RRO, and Verke Dresden, and HRR, RSN, Schnellfahrstreckenkoln, and Main Spessartbahn. But let's have a look in Miltenberg, because just in case you haven't watched the short, where's that first one? The empty depot move. Let's just jump into this. And just so Dynamic Weather doesn't do silly things, of course we have to have light clouds, don't we? I want to show you something. Hey, Gaz Photography, Florian, Mark B, welcome along. I've said hi to the others. I could say hi to them all again, but, you know, it's a little bit redundant. All right. Behold, 218. Complete with its weird stacky things in the front. And sometimes I think exhaust comes out of those. And sometimes I think, let's just change to the 8 key. And sometimes I think exhaust comes out of them, but I don't know. I don't know which one's the exhaust. So, you know, at the moment it looks like that one. But there's something special about this thing. And it's down here. And if you've watched the short, you now know. Yes, I know you like my embarrassing German. Anyway, let's get this thing moving, and I'll show you the special thing, because there's only one other locomotive that's got this special thing. Brake key. I'm going to try and remember all this now, because, you know, I did the tutorial 2 days ago. And I have to get up, because I need to do those, and they're behind the steering wheel. Did I say steering wheel? I did say steering wheel. Alright. And cab lights, don't care. Instrument lights, yes. Now, before we do anything else, we're going to go into the other cab, because it's hardly worth it for a 1-minute service, and it'll probably break me, because it always does. Yes, I'm talking about our good mate, BZB. Oh yeah, you need to move the seat out of the way. That's kind of cool. Open the hatch. BZB's down here. Seafer down here. And shut the hatch. You can fix the chair if you want to. Sounds like this one needs new rings, to be honest. But sounds are from a 218 driver who recorded the locomotive in action and is happy with the way it turned out. So those people that go, oh, I don't like the sounds, well, tough. I don't think there's anything on these switches, so they're just all blank. So there are actually PZB modes at the other end. We said PZB mode and brake mode are at the other end, so we'll look at those in another session. All right, now it's out tomorrow, or is it Wednesday? Tomorrow. It's out tomorrow. Or am I on the wrong day? I hope I'm not the wrong day. Brakes off, and let's look at the special thing. Oh yes, here, get the horn out of the way. It's not a very exciting horn, is it? Now, it's a bit touchy with Rail Driver. Hopefully she's ready to go. Yes, she is. Good. And that signal is green. Now, I'm just going to throttle back because I want to show you something. It's got all the usual things like wipers and stuff, but I'll show you those later. Let's just see what happens in a moment. It's your favourite, is it, that train guy? I thought you said you hated it. Oh, what happened there? Alright, let's watch in the next set. Actually, I need to use the 3 camera and CIFA. Let's just watch the bogey. First locomotive that's not a pacer with suspension in a train sim world. Let's watch it again. Ooh. You get sick of looking at it real fast, believe me, but, you know, we have to do these things. And again, here it comes. Now, personally, if my track work was that bad, I'd fire my track maintainer, but that's okay. Oops, see if it's lit up. Let's get a bit of a move on. We'll just finish this 1-minute service and then we'll go and show it on its home route. Could I honk? Yes, Berman. Was it worth the wait for the honk? Probably not. How fast am I going? Ah, too fast. Too fast. Damn it. Anyway, we got the spat out of the way. It's all good. Let's go and look at it in its home route, because that's on Maintalbahn, where I wanted to show you the suspension, because if you didn't know, Maintalbahn is a fantastic route for testing suspension, because it's the roughest route in the game. So let's go and look at Hamburg, because there's a lot of services for the 218. There's a lot. And if we look at the cab car, what is that, about 30? 40? It looks like about 40 to me. If we go look at the cab car, pop out of here again, and go and find our little friend, the Buschdorf. There he is. And Hamburg-Lübeck again. There's, what, about 20 by the looks of it? Something along those lines. And let's just have a quick look in that n-wagen, and then we'll show you the rest of it. And we'll go and look at the 218 properly, and we'll do a proper run. Oh, I knew that was going to happen, because I wanted to show you the suspension, and I knew it was going to get me, and I was just saying, whatever. So the n-wagen is just a little bit different. Reverse is the same. It does have a brake key, which is the same. Where it differs is... Where's the switch? Transmission power. That one. You need to turn that on, because that's telling the diesel at the other end. You've also got this new light, the gear. And you've got what looks like a sitting cat. But the gear is the important one. And I've kind of figured out what it means, but not completely. You also have the CIFA light. Be warned, in this thing it flickers. You'll see that in my tutorial. It's kind of annoying, but that's okay. Anyway, let's jump out of here, because that's the only thing's different with this. Apart from that's exactly the same as what it used to be. So let's jump out of here and see the star of the show, because I think that's what everybody wants to see, not the n-wagen at the other end. So, here we go. Train depot. And 218. You'd think it'd pick the second one, wouldn't you? But no. Makes me type it. There we go. I will try and avoid any more spads. 821. As a random service, we'll play this. I don't know if it's any good or not. We'll find out. And there are RE83 and If I go through all these, there you go. There's a freight train. So we have freight and passenger. So we'll do this RE83. We'll run this one, and then we can do a bit of freight. There are double headers in the freight. I have not seen a double header with passenger. I'm not going to tell you they don't happen, but I haven't seen one. Every stream should start with a spad. Alright, so let's go through the setup of this thing. Reverse a handle and put it into forwards. Brake key. You've got windows, naturally enough. You've got visors. You've got a lever somewhere for the windows. Windscreen wiper, there it is. Or you can turn them on, they are here. You can switch them on, they are independent. You have, and the sounds are quite nice so far. Contact signal are hiding up there. This display doesn't seem to do anything. And we have to do transmission power on, and train lights if it's a passenger. And then we can do our instrument lights. And then of course to set your signal lights and headlights, you have to go down here to do this, and you've got to move out of the way of the wheel. There we go. It's kind of annoying that you have to do that, but I kind of get why it happens. And, oh yeah, PZB. And do you mind if I don't turn on CIFA? Believe me, it works. But it's annoying when I stream, so I won't turn it on. I'll just turn on PZB. PZB's annoying enough. In this end, none of these things seem to open or do anything. Just shove the chair out of the way again. The controls up here are pretty much the same as at the other end, except that you do also have your brake mode and your PZB mode. Yay, they didn't forget PZB mode on this one. And down in the cabinet, if you didn't see it before, we have PZB and CIFA, but I'm not going to turn CIFA on, just because I'll forget, and we'll grind to a halt, and that'll be all she wrote. Now I can get back to mispronouncing German names. Is there anything else you wanted to see with it? So we've got white lights on the front because I turned them on. Those other ones are the red lights when they are on. Lincoln pin couplers, sorts of hoses. We can see how it connects at the other end if you like. There are services with Dostos and services with the n-wagen set. So there it is, coupled up. Hoses connected to various things that hoses like to connect to. They seem to all be doing things. And we shouldn't actually have any red lights on at the back. No, we don't. Good. That's about it for the outside. If there's anything that people want to see. Berman says, why doesn't DTG make a Dutch route? Well, why doesn't a third party come along that wants to make a Dutch route, I guess is the answer to that question. You can have a openy window over there as well if you want to. I think you can stick your head out of that one too. Let me just try. Yeah, there you go. You can stick your head out. How cool's that? I didn't put that in the tutorial, so remember that. It's the E key lets you in and out. Okay, shall we drive? Is it time to go? Oh, we haven't unlocked the doors. How mean. Doors have the usual German confusing twiddly thing and switchy thing, but I just use Y and U on my keyboard, or I use my controller, because I couldn't be bothered with the German twiddly switchy thing, because it's a German twiddly switchy thing. We should be good. Brakes, let's just have a look. Brakes are pumping up. I should have released the brakes before, that would have been helpful. They pump up pretty quick though. And remind me to acknowledge, because guess what's in front of me? Signal that needs acknowledging. You can see when you start powering up, the little gear wheel display comes on and then it goes off, so it means something. We'll move soon. There we go. Just making sure I'm not missing any questions. We are in monitoring as well, so I have to behave myself. I love the way it tells me it's safe to release, and then there's 1,000 hertz right in front of me. It's like this far away. It's like, well, I don't think it is. And I think I'll throttle off now. Oh, I left it in dynamic weather. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's only a locomotive. We're not showing off a route. I'm not restarting for that. And after I acknowledge this signal, we'll do an outside view. Because, you know, I'll miss it if I don't concentrate on it. There's Probably another one coming up, but that's life. Now, the suspension works at lower speeds, but at higher speeds it mellows out. So it's quite rough at low speeds, depending on the route. Some routes are laid better than others. Some of them you won't even notice it happening. Others you will. Ooh, spinny thing. So it's got a nice sound attenuation. If you move away from the locomotive, it gets quieter. It doesn't have a turbo that annoys you constantly. It does look nice. It's quite different to anything else we've had before, so I think people will probably appreciate it. It's a little bit like the 103. It's got such a different look that I think people will appreciate playing it. We should probably speed up a little bit or we're not going to go very far. There are 15 steps on the throttle. It is a diesel hydraulic. And one thing I do recommend is that you plan your driving. Because if you're coming flying into a platform on the 15th step on the wheel, and you roll it back to zero and put the brakes on, you will only get air. You will not get the dynamic braking. Because you have to wait until it's revved down before it can put the dynamics on, and that takes a good 20 seconds or so. We are apparently allowed to speed up now. This is good. But we're still only allowed to do 40. So I'll behave. Florian says this is as close to a home route that he has in TSW. Been to Hamburg Hauptbahnhof many times. Awesome. I haven't. Although next year, hopefully if it works out, I've got an event to go to in Lucca, Italy, which may let me explore a little bit into some of the other countries in Europe, because that would be awesome. I won't have the amount of time that I had for the UK, where I took a whole month off work. That's not going to happen. Let's just use a little bit of dynamics to slow us down through there. You can, I think I can feel that taking effect. Feels kind of like it. Yeah, it's having a bit of an effect. Do you know how long it's been since I've driven Hamburg-Lübeck? It's been ages. And of course, making the tutorials, this is about as far as I got, because I don't have to go far to make tutorials. Alrighty, I should be able to come off the dynamics in a moment, because we start going on the flat shortly. Mostly keeping the speed where it belongs. There we go, we're on the flat. Dynamics can be used separately, or when you apply the air brake, the dynamics go with them. So they are bonded together, if you like a lot of German locomotives are. Safe to release, apparently. I'm actually told that drivers generally don't release in real life. Uberk says he's a terrible planner. Gaz Photography says I'll be Nebworthing all the stations. Hello, Rail Able. I thank you for your confidence in my driving ability. It's probably well placed. Being is it actually powering at the moment? I don't think it is. I might have had the brakes on when I was off notch 0. Let's just go back to 0 and come back on the power again. There we go, now we're starting to power. That's better. I was thinking, why is it not revving up? It was me. So I got locked out because I applied dynamic brakes while I had the throttle off 0. It's coming back now. There it goes, it just revved up a little bit. Get that wiper out of our face. What routes can you drive the 218 on? Pretty much anything German. Well, anything really, but pretty much anything German. You will see some stuttering tonight because I haven't driven this route for ages and I've only just installed it again, so expect that. But we're not here for the route anyway. We are allowed to do 100. It's not the fastest accelerator in the world, but it's not a total slug. The 218 subs into a lot of routes. You saw when I clicked on 218 before, all of the routes that had substitutions, and it did kind of look like most of them. Most of the German ones. I've only got German routes installed. I couldn't tell you if it appears somewhere else. Oh, I've got to throttle it back because I've got a station coming. And it's revved down, so I may be locking myself out at the moment, but let's get some brakes on because I want to stop at the station rather than fulfilling the prophecy. Brakes nicely. Probably brakes a little too nicely for me, but you know. It is going to power because the light just came on. So I can pick up a little bit of speed while we crawl through this station. That train guy just searched DB 103 and the first thing he found was my video. Thank you, YouTube. I like you. Alright, back on the brakes now. Anywhere there, mate. Be all good. And open the doors. Lovely folding doors of the n-wagons. I do like those. Why don't we sit on the ground next to it so we can hear it depart? That'd be a good thing to do, wouldn't it? That'd be a good spot. Ah. Does that signal need acknowledging? There's a question. I think not, because it's green. Alright. I'll give you a honk even though you Germans don't. It would be pretty funny on a Rosa. Now the question is, does the game sound loud enough? Yeah, it's peaking in the yellows, it should be okay. So it revs up about notch 8. Before that it doesn't really rev up, and I'm told that is expected. That's the way it's meant to work. So, it's good. Oh no, a random light's come on. Ho ho, Abremsung. As he resists blowing the horn for the crossing. Oh, does this only stop at one station and then go all the way to Lübeck? Oh well, you're going to be with me for a little while. I'm not sure what this thing's rated top speed is. Let's see if there's anything in the cab that tells me. I know when it... Oh, it's got 2 gears as well. Did I mention the gears? I didn't. It's got 2 gears. It's got fast mode, which lets you go up to, I believe, 140 kilometers an hour. And slow mode, if you click that up, which I won't do when I'm driving. Hello, V for Vicky. Which gives you up to 100 kilometers an hour, but twice as powerful. I might close the window. It's a bit loud. There we go. She's a beast. And the suspension is quite nice. So you'll see these points when it goes over these. So you still get a little bit of bounce, but it's not pronounced like it is when you're going at slow speed. And it bounces a little when it goes into and out of super elevation, which is nice. working our way up towards 140. We've 125 so far. Yeah, Bremen-Oldenburg is the other n-wagen route. .130. We're approaching our speed limit. I missed a gratuitous bridge shot. What's going on there? Let's get up ahead of it. So we can't hear anything from it anymore. There we go. And now we wait. I can certainly say n-wagons are loud. We've gone above our maximum speed. Just slow down just a little. Just in case there's PZB speed magnets here anywhere. There we go. Coming back down now. Oh, when it pauses like that and you think, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. We've all been there. I think it's 100, Gav. Gav says 140 and 90, but I think it's 100 in the slow gear. Ooh, wibbly wobblies. I like what happens with suspension sometimes when you get into tight little corners like that. You just go, way! Something I'd love to see, when you pass another train at high speed, that your train goes, boy. Did you see the exhaust that came out of that AI 218 there? That was full on with the Greta Thunbergs. And if you didn't know train emissions are officially measured in Gretas, I feel sorry for you. You do get big bursts of smoke out of it every now and again. Ooh, that looked a bit ugly. You've got to get it on the right angle to see the smoke, like pretty much everything in Train Sim world. Let's try and get a good spot. No, 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 no. Oh, we saw smoke a moment ago. Give us the smoke back. Oh, yeah, that's as much as we're going to see at the moment, I think. It's one thing in the game I would love to see improved is smoke features. Florian says, I have crashes from time to time on this route, mainly when the time is set to February or March. I don't know what it was set to, I didn't look. Oh, look at that, I've done 21.8 kilometres. That sounds about right, that's enough to drive it for 2 tutorials. I think there will probably be a lot of liveries for this one, because in my googling of it and looking at it running in real life, yeah, there's quite a lot. And of course that guy that makes Spider-Man for everything probably will, and it'll probably get chucked out just like everything else does. Should I react to that red signal that I can see on the HUD but I can't see in real life yet? See if it changes. Because I shouldn't really have 2 greens and a red, so I'm just assuming that's the dispatcher thing. Because if it's not, I'm in trouble. Could be your second spad coming up. Hasn't changed, has it? I think I better get on the brakes. I really do. Even though I can't see this signal yet. that's because this signal's not actually green. That's mean, HUD. That's very mean. Now the question is, did I brake that hard, or did PZB whack me? No, I think it was just me. So I have slowed down adequately, you can certainly see that. I don't think I needed to go to full service then, I really didn't. Panicky moment. Yes, road knowledge would be good, Kuminati. Definitely would. Definitely would. Feels weird to be powering towards a red, but there you go. We're going to. Just keep an eye on the speed. Gone green now. Woohoo! Oh, the passengers will survive. They can pick up their laptops and their coffee and their phones. If they were leaning forward, engrossed in conversation with the person in the seat opposite them, I'm sure they can get off them. Another one that's not quite green. This is a good service if we're chasing yellows all the way. Although it may take a little longer than expected if we're chasing yellows all the way. Michael Leahy says, Pico Hobbies, big long number, has the Barnbale Liveries Yellow site with new 218 liveries. Cool. And Newberg says, TSW passengers are hardly people. No problem there. Oh, hardy people. I thought you meant hardly people. Safe to release. You know what? I don't believe you. I'm going to wait until I can see the signal, thanks. Oh, it is definitely green. It's alright, it'll release itself when we get up there. I would like the engine sound even if it wasn't outstanding, to be honest, Florian, because it sounds different to anything else we've got in the game. Which makes me happy. I don't think we'll be allowed to do 160 somehow. I think this shouldn't go past 140, really. Oh, we've got another red. Oh, dear. We really are chasing the yellows. Glad you like the sound, Vree and Florian. Fantastic that a couple of locals think the sound is good. I will always take that over 100 people who don't know the thing saying it's bad. A couple of people in the preview did say it was bad, which surprised me, because I knew where the sounds had come from. We're not chasing yellows anymore. Just wait for that red. Back in monitoring, of course. I think the only thing I'd really complain about is she's so clean underneath. I can understand being clean on top because, you know, they keep them pretty well, but the undercarriage looks a little bit too clean and orderly to me. But apart from that, I really like the livery. I like there's a bit of grubbification on the top, so I like that. Bit of weathering. But, underside I'd like to see dirtier. Ooh, green signal. One thing you do have to watch is the interlock. You've got to wait till the brakes get down to near zero. Otherwise, if you power up, you don't get very far. And the yellow lights come on, so we're okay. And it's not like the electric ones, because, you know, you can actually do this. And it'll just do it. It's quite happy to. But I've just got to watch my speed at the moment, or PZB's going to take me out, and it just did. Thank you, PZB. We love you. We do love you, PZB. Let me know when you're ready to release the brakes, PZB, and I'll have my train back, thanks. So just as I'm looking at the speedo going, it's going to hit me. Bang. That's okay. And the people in the back are going, ooh. There we go, off we go again. If that little yellow light there doesn't come on when you first start to power, you know that it's not going to. But you see, resetting it from a PZB thing is very easy. Gaz Photography says, RIP, the coffees and tea. Soppy passenger, your driver has seen a pink train ahead, so we had to put the brakes on hard. Please thank your driver when you get off in 37 kilometres. Well, 34 now, but yeah. Soups 124 says, can you drive off with full power this time? Well, since I didn't see that, let's just stop again. And then I'll just put it in full power. I'll sit on the outside and you can listen to it. Nice, gentle stop for the passengers this time. And we'll stop out of the platform so the people up on the platform don't get confused and think they can get in. Now, I don't know how prototypical this would be, but are you ready? Shall we? It's 70 kilometres an hour now. I'm just going to turn around so I can see that signal. One hundred. We're going to use the track monitor and pretend we've got route knowledge now. Start getting ready for these lowered speed limits. The brakes do take a little while to come off, so expect it. It's not got the fastest compressor on the planet. B reckons that's about how the average German train driver flies off at the station. It could be. I mean, maintaining those schedules couldn't be easy. N-wagons always look so little next to Dostos, don't they? Just imagine V sitting there with a radar gun. Gotcha now. Stand back, people. A 2-8 might blow your eardrums out. So that's what we've been waiting behind all this time. That train. Engine sounds like light speed. Excellent. See, sometimes the yellow gear light comes on and I think, why? It just does. I have no explanation for you. Ooh. I didn't know what you could see in there. How cool's that? You see in the top one too? You can. Ah. Nifty. It's a pity all that's modelled and you can't go in there. Ah well, what can you do? I've got motion blur turned on, haven't I? Yucky. It's nice and clean inside. The driver clearly goes back in there and polishes everything. Jazz Dub says the DB BR 218 is the same blowy, powerful sound of the Antelope Valley Metrolink American locos. Ooh, I think it sounds quite a bit different. The Antelopes sound a bit quiet to me. But then again, they are Series 6 Gevos, so they're meant to be quiet and peaceful and avoid emitting Gretas at any cost. V obviously likes the sound. Says overall this is the best sounding engine by far. By far. Glad you like it. It's actually a very interesting timetable this time round, and I had to keep checking the dates, and I hope I got them right, because the release stream for this, the official one's tomorrow. Oh no. clown horn like all German locomotives. And those little cars. Pop, pop. Diesel sound's not rare here, but yes, it's getting rarer. Joe Allen says, I've been stuck on a red light for ages. What do I do? Well, if you're running TSW 4, go and find the train that's blocking you up and delete it. Just click on it in the map and select delete or despawn or whatever it is. That doesn't work on all routes, but most of them it does. It's misusing the free roam abilities to solve red light problems. And it does depend on the route too. It can actually be quite legit on LIRR, for example, the new version of it, to actually sit outside Penn Station for half an hour because you can't get in. It's actually reality. Yeah, you can delete trains, V. Not on all routes, but on most of them you can. You know why I keep slowing down? Because you lot want to hear this. It's at that point your little autopilot voice starts screaming, bank angle, bank angle. Everyone in those Dostos is now deaf. Yeah, deleting's really handy. Yes, the loco is made by TSG, Train Sim Germany, or Make. It also works for DTT. Lexic Dark suggests don't forget to do the maniacal laugher when despawning assets. You could do that. Time to hear it accelerate again, isn't it? You know, we should run it. On the newer routes, in tunnels, they're louder. It's not too bad in the headphones mode. I've got it turned down. I think I'm streaming the game at 80% and I'm listening to it at 60. Oops, too fast. Try and request permission from the signaller, Joe. So go and find the thing that's labelled contact signaller, or you can just press, if you're on PC, you can press tab and do contact signaller. There's a way to do that on console too, but I can't actually remember what it is. Look in your controller definition in the game and it'll show you. V wants to know any bets on TSW 5 this year. I'm not a betting man, V. What I'd be interested on is what routes do you think will come out this year? And I'll tell you now, I don't actually know. Because I dropped out of beta while I was in the UK. And I've only just come back into it and I haven't caught up yet. I thought B was acknowledge. That worked, Joe. Fantastic. It's easy to forget about basic things that we know from the game, the people here who've been playing it for a long time. And some of those things can be very hard for new players, so I think that's a timely reminder, Joe. I should do a tutorial on things like that. It's been a little while. I'll slow down again just so we can accelerate again. Oh, we're getting to Lubeck pretty quickly. Only 9 k's to go. Makes a good opportunity to show off the dynamic brakes, I suppose. If you've got a rail driver, pushing the throttle lever into the braking position will activate the dynamics. Now remember, it's not a electrically driven engine, it's a diesel hydraulic, so dynamics doesn't make any whine or anything like that. It's just using the hydraulics. So the dynamics are quite powerful, as you saw there. They quite handily slowed me down. Thanks, Joe. Gav says a Paul's refresher training course with a low price of $59.99. You know the funny thing about that, Gav? If I put out a training course for nothing, it gets a few views. I'm betting if I put one out that cost you $100, it would probably get more views. Because people would go, ooh, it must be authoritative because it costs money. Shall we accelerate again? I think so. V thinks the next big thing will be TSW 5 running on UE5, since the old consoles will no longer be supported in the future. I reckon it's a little early for UE5, because I reckon UE5 is probably an adventure over a couple of years. So I would be very surprised if UE5 was on the horizon. Distant planning maybe, but I wouldn't think on the horizon. Yeah, it does release tomorrow. I can only really tell you what the embargo is, but whatever time it normally releases for your local area is when it will likely release. Ah, look. We've got a slow speed section coming up. Better do something about that. Wrong way. I don't know why I did that. Come on, bring me down, bring me down. There we go. All good. No problems. Nothing to see here. Move along. Move along. I accidentally released the brakes. Instead of moving the rail driver lever up, I moved it down. It was silly. Because I was watching the thing on the screen, which moves in the opposite direction to the trade lever. a 60 zone coming up. Can't remember if I have to acknowledge these. I do, look at that. Thank you, HUD. Florian says, I remember my first runs in TSW. I actually rage quit the first time, went back to it after a few months, then got into it and loved it ever since. Would that have been the ICE 3 by any chance? That thing got me out of the game. The other trains were fine. Bakerloo was fine. The heavy haul thing was fine. But the ICE 3 screaming at me in German, because I couldn't figure out how to set it up, just got on my goat. It's like, nah, not playing this anymore. Gav says it comes with a free pair of Matt Cat headphones and a free knife set. At the risk of violating copyright. I wore this to a meeting today at work. It seemed necessary. I suppose we should do something about that 60, shouldn't we? It's really easy to forget just how infuriating a game can be when you don't know. And we've all been there. And I'm often there. Because I do the beta testing, I'm doing this path. I'm like, do I know what I'm doing and I can't do it? Or do I not know anything about this train and that's why it won't do it for me? And that happens all the time. And yeah, it's infuriating. V says, I thought the Japanese route was already in UE5. That's news to me. If it is, that's big news. I haven't seen that. And a free Lexi doll. I don't know if you want a doll of Lexic Dark. It'd be kind of scary. It'd probably come with a sheep. It's got a sheep farm if you didn't know. Thank you, HUD. As we come into the end of this run into Lübeck. Joe asks, what is your favourite train? My favourite train is probably the 101 diesel multiple unit on the British side of things. Second favourite is potentially the Little Fowler, because I like that. But the thing I've driven the most is the MTBA diesel on Boston. I don't know why I've driven that so much, but it's more than I've driven on anything. But I can't look at my stats in the game anymore because on one of my switches in and out of beta land, I killed everything. I had to build a new profile. Sliding into Lübeck. It's interesting how the signals are on the other side of the track now. I remember that confusing me the first time I played this route, and I wasn't sure if the signals were for me or not, because they weren't on the right anymore. Thinking I should get my speed down before I hit that 500 hertz. I don't know if you have to acknowledge those, but I always do. You probably don't have to. squeal. Ooh. It even sounds cool idling. It's kind of like a Detroit diesel engine, the ones that just scream at you. Yeah, that was less naughty than I usually am. And glod, because this is a route that doesn't do the higher metals. There we go. So, how about some freight? Do some freight? Let me do some freight. But just to answer that question that came up earlier, we'll just have a look at the routes that have the 218 again, where it will substitute in, because I could just say it's pretty much everywhere, but you probably won't believe me until I do that. So it's not all the German routes. There are some missing there. There's only one of the Dresdens, for example, not both of them. So what in German routes, I think there's about 12 or something. So there's a fair few. Mainz-Spessartbahn, Schnellfahrstrecke Ruhr-Sieg Nord, Rhein-Ruhr Osten, Naverka Dresden, Aschaffenburg-Miltenberg, Hauptstrecke-Rhein-Ruhr, Hauptstrecke-München-Augsburg, and of course Hamburg-Lübeck. And we'll go back in there and let's see if we can find ourselves a little bit of a freight. If this will be a double header. Wouldn't that be cool if this was a double header? I just got a note from Alex that there's changes to Hamburg-Lübeck that have just shipped, and I probably haven't got those given I'm streaming. So, Alright. What did we get? We got two. We got two. Number 1. And number 2. Hopefully those changes are in the branch that I'm running. We'll see. Alright. Actually, there's no point putting the brakes off yet. No point doing that at all, because I haven't set the train up. Okay. Forward. I've probably messed this up now. Yeah, I'm not allowed to use the brake key. Oh dear. I've done myself in, I think. Actually, I've moved that to... There's a handle off position, isn't there? Similar. Something like that. Nah, I've done myself in moving it before I did that, because I need to find a position that you can change the key. And I don't know what it is. Ah, there we go. Got it. I found it. Train brake off. Yes. Okay. Now let's finish setting the train up. Transmission power. Train lights don't matter because this is a freight. Need to set our headlights and signal lights though. Pop all those on and we shall go up the back and do PZB naturally. I'll be curious what it sounds like with two of them. I haven't tried two. PZB. And in case you weren't here before, that one's Cipher, but I'm going to leave that off because Cipher is really annoying when you stream. What are we hauling anyway? Stuff. Alright. Wagon loads of stuff. Are they timber, those ones? I seem to remember. Something like that. You know what I didn't set? Brake mode. Brake mode. Brake mode. Naughty me. Hopefully it's set up right anyway. That would be good. And PZB mode. That should be M for freight, shouldn't it? I think, from memory. And the brake mode... I'm not sure about brake mode, actually. What do you guys think? What should I put brake mode on? Ah, I'll leave it on that one. I'm really not sure. I've got the rules somewhere, but I can't remember them, so I'm just going to leave it on that one. It'll be fine. It'll work, whatever it's on. But I think I got the PZB mode right. And need to do the gear. So it's already set correctly in slow gear with the freight train. That's nice to see. Okay, now I can release the brakes and probably go. I got everything right. Ooh, you can hear both of them. More cats in Train Sim World, definitely. There is... I'm not sure if I've got it here. I think I've hidden it somewhere. I don't think it's in my pile of crap on my desk anymore. Oh, yes it is. Modes. And I should be limited to 100. Well, I should have actually put it on brake mode on PZB mode U, because I'm limited to 100 kilometers an hour. So I should have done that. I did not put it on the right mode, I don't think. I could go back and put it on the right mode, but oh well, I got it wrong. But this... I can't remember where I found this sheet. I think it's one of Matt's. But if you Google PZB Overview PowerPoint, you will find this. And it's really handy for getting it right. It used to be essential, but now that we've got the HUD, it's not so much. Oh, shortest bridge shot. I think we better get up there on the ridge. Because you know what we have to do here. This. It wasn't quite as loud as I thought it would be. Let's get closer. That's more like it. Hello, Low-Tech. And yes, there is free roam for Oldenburg. Light just came on. Why? Low-Tech says, "G'day, what is your favourite North American locomotive?" I'd have to say the SD40-2. It's my favourite North American one. I couldn't tell you why. I just like it. It would be good. Mino says, "I wish cats were in TSW4. There are. There are cats in quite a lot of stations on quite a lot of routes. You need to look for them. There are cats and donkeys. There's probably as many cats as there are donkeys, if not more. Which is funny because people only go on quests hunting for the donkeys. They don't go on quests hunting for the cats. And thank you, HUD, for the injected route knowledge that I didn't have. Just wait for that to rev down. There we go. Gear light's gone out now. It should be safe to brake. It's not braking as hard with freight in that brake mode. Although I think it's using a lot of dynamics because I see the air brakes go on. Because what I'm watching is this gauge. I see the air brakes go on and then go off again. So I think it's using the dynamics more. But it's certainly doing the job, whatever it's doing. Off we go to Lübeck again. I should have gone the other way, shouldn't I? At least it's a different path for the moment. The good thing about hydraulics is they're actually fairly stable on hills. So you may find you don't need to use dynamic braking very much because they don't accelerate as fast as a diesel electric does when you're going downhill. They will pick up speed like this one is, but they don't do it as much. I always love it when I've been given the opportunity to drive at Puff. If I'm in the diesel, going down hills, big diesel hydraulic, so easy. One notch on the brakes, down your hill, down the run, down you go, all good. Steam engine, on, off, on, off, on, off. Let that settle down before we try and power again. I should be good by now. Let's see if the light comes on. Yep. If the light doesn't come on, you're screwed. You just have to wait a bit more. Mino, yeah, there's cats everywhere. If you're thinking of buying things in Train Sim World or Train Sim Classic, I remind everybody, I can't tell you when sales are coming before they come, but I do remind you that the sales seem to be at about the same times every year. So go back and look when last year's sales were on your platform. If they're on Steam, it seems to be on something's on sale nearly all the time, but go back and look for the big ones if you want to get something that's not brand new. And I think I was at, I'm trying to think who I was having a chat with. There was someone I was having a chat with yesterday or the day before. If you can contain, I should be speeding up. If you can contain your FOMO about new things, there's no real reason why to make sure that you get the most for your cost of living, that you don't wait for sales for new stuff as well. But it's hard to contain the FOMO. I get that. Ooh, nice little 363 there. I do like those things. They're kind of cute. Lexic Dark says, mode based on load factor. If I recall, freight has two different ones. It's for setting the brake curves. Yes, that's correct. It's basically so you don't break couplers. For freight, I think, has gentler braking than passenger. Because, you know, passengers are squishy and bouncy. Freight's not. Mino says, there's a cat in Birmingham City. Yes. Lowtech says, I just recently learned about the EMD SD40 T2. Variant for running in long tunnels. Great loco. Yeah, the tunnel motors. They have different cooling arrangements so they don't overheat running in long tunnels, if I remember rightly. But apart from that, they're not much different. Is that poor RB waiting for us? Ha, suffer. Freight's more important. Mark B says TSW is adding an update. Yeah, it's coming out now. I'm hoping it's already in the build I'm running though, because I'm not in the public build. I'm not in the beta one, not in dev. Be really clear about that. I am in one that I'm allowed to use for this stream. It's just a different one. I think it's amazing that you can see in there. I can't think of another loco where we've had that. Florian says it's nice to see more traffic on this route as well. That probably means I have got the update then. It does certainly seem busier. Let us come up to the station and be a victim passenger with this train coming past. I should join all these people who are all walking away from me. Let's just get in amongst them. Here it comes. Imagine wandering along the platform just right on the edge there and the jump scare you'd get when this thing came past you. Screaming at you. Let me see if I can hunt for it. So I might even have it in my drive, but let me see if I can find it. Up a couple of links. I got it from a link on the forums, I think. I'm just having a quick look to see if I can find it. Oh, look, here's a different one. This isn't the same one, but it looks like the same information. Dump this in the chat. It's on Reddit, which I think it's in the forum that Golden Ticket looks after. On Reddit. Yeah, our Train Sim World. So that's the same information that I've got on that sheet that I've got. Get away, you. No worries, Low-Tech 420. I enjoy making them. And I enjoy making them largely because of the people who turn up in the chat. Because there's a lot of cool people who know a lot more than me. I'll keep looking and see if I can find the other one as well. Awful lot of things with PZB in their name, they really are. I'm sure it's just called PZB Overview. Might have been even in Matt's one. It. PZB tutorial video. I can't say an overview for his actual PowerPoint though. I know he has put it somewhere that people can get to it. Thanks, Hubert. I'm allowed to do 100. Why am I doing 80? So no cruise control, totally hands-on, you're driving. Best kind of locomotive. Be a good little German driver and I'll try and sit on about 95. That looks like it's holding about steady if I watch the speedo. It's maybe dropping speed a little bit. Jet in Travel and Logistics says I look cold. Are you in New Zealand? No, I'm in Melbourne. And oddly enough, today it was actually warmer than I was in the UK, but for some reason I just felt cold, so I put the sheepskin on. And it's certainly not cold in here because we heat the house to 21, so Celsius. Oddly enough, my wife felt the same because she works from home too at the moment, and yeah, she felt cold too. Oh well. Might have just taken our dodgy 40-year-old gas heater time to catch up, I think. I don't think I heard it stop running until earlier this evening. Maybe I should replace it. Maybe I should go the Dutton approach and put a thermonuclear power plant in my roof. That's what he seems to want everybody to do. It's a bit annoying getting hit in the face with a pole all the time. See, at higher speeds you don't see the suspension doing very much, which is quite as it should be. Ooh, we're out of the world. He's out of this world. Always funny when you stick your head through the floor. Jet says it's cold here at the moment. I have some jackets. That's good. Where are you? Lexic Dark says there's a thing. Thorium reactors for all. Ah, salt reactors. Now I like your thinking. I live in Frankston. I have no shortage of salt. And I have no shortage of bogans to fuel it with. Just drop a new one in every couple of years and it'll keep it going. It's going to take a little while to get to Lubeck at 100 kilometres an hour, or 95 anyway. This route's so old, I wonder if the level crossings actually work. I guess we'll know in a moment. Does it? Does it? It's a really old route, maybe it doesn't. Nah. I'm dying of suspense. Back to firing this weekend. I'll be firing the double shuttles on Saturday, and I'm firing again on Monday. I'll be firing on Baldwin Prairie on the on Saturday, little 262 locomotive. And on Monday night, I'm firing the Train of Lights. Should be pretty spectacular. The Big Garrett. It's a very difficult fire, that one, because you get your locomotive, you do a light engine to Lakeside, and light engine in a big locomotive is a nightmare. It just never set... The fire just doesn't go properly. It's just awful. And then I've got to sit at Lakeside for 2 hours or 3 hours or something like that and try and keep the thing hot without using all my coal, and then do the heavy run to Gembrook, which is a long downhill followed by a 6.5 miles of 1 in 30 uphill with no respite. So there's going to be plenty of shoveling going on. And then we sit at Gembrook for about 50 minutes or something, and then back down the big hill and up the other side into Lakeside, drop the carriages off and run light engine back to Belgrave again. So it's a big night. Shift starts at 1:30 in the afternoon and finishes at 11:30 p.m. You're in Auckland, Jet. Nice place, Auckland. If I'm travelling to New Zealand, I tend to go to the South Island more than the North Island, but I've actually been in Auckland quite a lot for work. Because, funnily enough, water companies do work with each other, even in different countries. Have you built your personal thorium reactor yet, Lexic Dark? Don't answer that, not on a public forum. No one knew you have. People go, no, I haven't built one at all. I've got 6. Unfortunately, none of the screens do anything on this thing. think the gauges do things. Oh, look. We're redlining one of them. I don't think I've seen that one move. But these two I think move. And I think that moves. And I think that one does. But does as well. I'll put them here so we can see them. Green's all the way on this trip. I should see what it looks like in snow next, I think. Because it actually has got some nice snow textures. So we'll finish our run to Lübeck. It's only 8:30, it's not too bad. Would have thought I'd have to acknowledge that sign, but I guess it's only a warning. But it had a PZB magnet, which is confusing. How weird's this? Me behaving myself. Yeah, the tacho definitely moves. That one that says U/minutes. Lexit Dark says, yes, let's not publicly mention the nuclear reactors that we know about in our state. There's only 3. I do remember the irony of up near St Vincent's Hospital, where there's a large nuclear medicine facility, and on the wall outside it says the state of Victoria is a nuclear-free zone, but it's actually on the wall where the equipment is. It's like, yeah, that's just funny. It's a lie, but it's funny. Oh, thanks, Florian. Useful knowledge. There are weird and wonderful things about PZB that I don't get, that I've never managed to figure out. And I have to say the hints that turn up in the HUD are just excellent. They're really handy because I want to use PZB, but because I don't know everything about it, and granted the HUD will stop me learning everything about it, I get that. But at least it means I can have the realism of using it and reacting to it and getting bitten by it sometimes, which is fun. And of course we're in a tree, because it wouldn't be Train Sim World 4 if we weren't in a tree. I did sit through Matt's 4-hour PowerPoint course on PZB, which is still available on the internet should you care to watch that. It's interesting. It's not that interesting. Tree Sim World, there you go. That would probably have Greta's in it as well. And yes, I do find it ironic that I have a massive solar panel installation on my house, and I drive a hybrid car, the wife's car's electric, and I fire a steam engine. To do 100, so I'll just drop the power back a little bit. I have a faint suspicion I might actually have to brake because we are going down a bit of a slope, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's picking up speed again. Alright, we'll throttle off and go into the dynamics. Nothing on the route's going to whack me for doing 105 though. because none of the magnets really know I'm a freight train, so they won't care. Well, you do have a point there, you Burke. The camera does have to be mounted somewhere. Here it's just floating in the air, because, you know, no tree. Oops, ran into a pole. You can just imagine being out for a peaceful stroll in the country down the side of the railway tracks when... that flies past. It actually does make a different noise when it's on the dynamics, you know. I didn't think it did, but it does. Can't tell from inside the cab, but you can from outside. Lexic Dark says, I had to peel 3 layers on the PZB onion shell of documentation and ended up in a deep technical specification which told you exactly what to expect. But peeling onions makes you cry. It also makes your head hurt. You know, I've read one of the German PZB technical manuals. Most of the time PZB is actually measuring deceleration rather than your speed. Yeah, it is mostly about braking curve. Pretty much. If I was in the right mode now, it probably would have bitten me before. Gav says Tree Sim World 5 coming to Xbox 360, Xbox One, Switch, Atari 2600, SNES, Sega Master System 2, PS2, PS1, and your smart TV and smart fridge and Tesla for the price of $39.99. You missed a console there. Missed a couple of old ones, actually. But it's hard to forget the X-Bone. The more I drive this, the more I'm picking up the subtle rev changes in the lower speeds. They are there, but they're much more subtle than the sound changes that happen at the higher throttle notches. Lexic Dark says that one comes with a free mini axe set for reprogramming the automatic door. When you use that free axe set, does it yell out, "Here's Johnny"? Not many of you are going to be old enough to know where that came from. It's a disturbingly not coloured signal. But it's okay, it's green. Oops, wrong button. Let's watch the look on his face when it comes past. That man doesn't care at all. Oh, maybe he does. No. Doesn't care, does he? Not a sausage. Oh well. Lorian says, if I don't get free knives, I don't want it. TV shopping. Gav's Photography says you get a free screaming mat and a JD doll and a free bell. I was about to say the JD would need to come with a bell. Newburgh has a dumb fridge. I don't want a smart fridge. All that tech nowadays. My fridge actually is on the internet. Because if it's not, its ice maker won't work. But it goes through a very filtered firewall, and when it screams home to Mama in China, it gets very limited information. What about a Game Boy? We need Tree Sim World on a Game Boy. I was wondering when we're slowing down, but we're going uphill. That would be why. Fridge in the garage is made in Malaysia. You know, I can tell it goes ice cube la. It probably is looking for the recipe for ice on the internet, definitely. It's the only feature that won't turn on. Everything else works fine, but if you don't let it go home to Mama, the ice thing doesn't run. It's annoying. I do get a push alert if someone left the door open, which is kind of handy. But it's amazing how many devices in your house do report back to servers that are overseas. Even your cars. Too fast because I'm being very naughty. I just thought JD would come with a vegetable to make soup with. What's it called again? Oh yeah, a leek. Leek soup. $15Ks to Lübeck. And your driver is going way too fast. Needs to bring it back under control. Yes, that's true. You forget to close the door, you get plenty of ice. Yes. Yeah, we were away. And when we came back, someone had left the freezer in the garage door open. We had to empty it all and find space for everything in the other freezers and a couple of eskies. And then take the thing outside and hose it out to melt all the ice because it was that full. That's better. So, German speakers in the audience, what does Hohi Abremsung mean? It happens when you come off dynamic braking. You'll want to hear it again, don't you, for sure? No, I'm locked out, I think. I don't think I got a yellow... Nah, I've locked it out. I've tried throttling too early. Or braking too early. Just sit here and wait now. Hey look, the gauges do work. That one's dropped from about up there to down there, and that one's dropped down to 100. That one's dropped. The revs has definitely dropped, so the gauges do stuff. Just not the leftmost one. Let's see if I can power now. No, I cannot power. What have I done to it? What do I need to reset? No. Have I got any handles? It's in release. That's in release. That one's in off. I haven't turned off the brake key or anything stupid. My random fiddling, did I turn something off? See? It's probably this thing that's telling me you've done something naughty. High braking force, says Florian. Fast off. I don't know what that means. Can I have power yet? Please? Can I have some power? I haven't opened any doors. I haven't got any interlocks on. Let's just try acknowledging those. Shouldn't matter, but let's try. I've done something to it. I busted it. I actually did this when I was filming the tutorial and I figured out what it was, and I actually had it in my tutorial how to fix it, but I've forgotten, clearly. I'll figure it out. There actually is a throttle off position as well, which the rail driver can't do, I think. No? Maybe not. Hey, I need your locomotive. What have I done to you? Try putting the brakes on and take them off again. Right, brakes are on and release. Let that sit for a moment until the pressure comes off. Now let's try. Now, I'm not getting the magic little yellow light. I've done something to it. Mega ohms. Interesting. It must be a nightmare having PZB when you're shunting. Make, if you're out there, help! So I could try stopping and starting again, but at this rate we're actually going to roll into Lubeck, so it'll be fine. But, let's try something more drastic. Has it got an off position? It does. Let's see if we can reset it. Well busted it. moment as I throttle up, I think it's slowing me down. Any thoughts? I'm sad now. Let me just see if it's interlocked. Let me just change to the other HUD. It's in there, I think, isn't it? Minimal HUD. Minimal HUD traction lock. There we go. Shown. Let's just see if it's interlocked. It is interlocked. Okay, now we've just got to figure out why. Figure out what I have to do to fix it. I like little surprise faces. What have I done? Doesn't think I've got doors open or something like that, does it? Ah, still interlocked. We're still rolling quite fine because it's been 2 kilometers and I haven't died yet. Engines are on. What if I put the reverser into neutral and turn the engines off? Turn it back on again. That made a noise. We're still interlocked. What did I do? Because whatever I did, it's going to happen to other players. Oh, we're going uphill now. We might not make it into Lubeck. We have the sitting cat light turned on. That came on when I turned the motors off. Now look, they didn't start. They did not start up. Oh dear. Maybe you have to be in off for that to work. That did violent things, didn't it? Still no revs. Let's turn you off again. Turn you off again. It definitely makes a noise when you do that. Are any of these buttons? What I'm wondering is, I'll have to have a look at the stream later. Did it go back to 0 when I turned them off there? Or did it go back to 0 because I did something and I killed it and stalled it? Because we are still interlocked. Couldn't be something like an emergency brake mushroom. Now, I'm curious whether the other one's running. So this is just rolling, and so's this one. What does it say in the cab here? There's no lights on this one at all. We're still going to make it into Lubeck. 2 Ks to go. That's possible, Tam. When we get to Lubeck, I might try that. But I want to get to Lubeck. We're just going to roll in. Trust me to break it. Oh god, I've got to slow down too. How my brake's going to pump up again with no compressor? Just had to hope for the best, won't we? There's enough air in the main res to get the brakes off. Still interlocked. This nice little 363 will come and help me out. It happened when I was using the dynamic brakes, I know that. So I used them by themselves, but I've used them by themselves before and it didn't do anything. Hey, the interlock's gone. I had to do a proper brake application. I bet you it'll go now. Well, would if the motors worked. I wonder if they'll start now, says he, creeping up to the... trying to do something. There it goes. The motor started. Yay! And it's time to stop because, you know, red light. Yay! All I had to do was a proper brake application and it would have been fine. So I didn't break it. There we go. We know how to get out of that now. Do a proper brake application. Lexic Dark checked back and said I went through 100 Hz at about 95, or in Dynamics 1 and 2 it should have been fine. I'm talking about Garage Freezer. Yeah. Let's see if the second engine will start. I don't really hear it making noises, but often the second one doesn't do anything in this game. But we've got motors again. We figured it out. Yay! Do I have to go backwards now because I went 31 meters past the thing? Probably. Oh no, it's here. Oh yeah, it's an old route, so close to the signal. Alright, let's do it. Let's take our life in our hands. Let's do this. Bringing this massive freight train in so close to a red. Gotta love old routes. We don't do this anymore. And about now. Lots of brakes. All the brakes. Everything. Stop! Oh, yes. Doesn't get much closer than that. Yeah, I really behaved myself in that run, didn't I? Cool. Alright, I'm happy we figured that out. I wouldn't like to have a stream where we couldn't figure that out. I think... Timetable. Let's find something in the snow. Can I do that from here? Did I have to choose that before? No, I'll be right. I'll be fine. Let's try... It's an RE85, so we'll do an RE85. Is there anything earlier or later in the day? Oh, it doesn't matter about nighttime, does it? Do we care? Let's do something that should transition into nighttime. So if we go about Hamburg to Lubeck. Is there anything that goes... Oh, we'd have to do the cab car to go the other way, wouldn't we? Yeah. Alright, let's... Custom weather, rather. I want to go to proper winter. January or December? December's colder. Light clouds. Bit of snow is what we want. Light snow. Not a bit more snow than that, though. And we probably want some moist. Maybe a bit of fog. Not much fog, though. Tiny bit of fog. Alright, let's see what it looks like in the snow. Ooh, snowy textures. So it's been out there. What are we paired with? What is our second locomotive? Let's get into 8 key. What is that thing? It's a 112. Well, how about that? That's a bit snowy. I like the way it's kind of half coupled in there. It's nearly there. It's got some decent snowy textures on it. I quite like it. Clearly it's not like a Dosto snowy texture, which is remarkably like its dry texture. Anyway, it looks cool. So, good work on the snow. Probably the only thing that needs a bit of snow is the coupler. I could see the hoses not getting it, but the coupler needs it. But anyway, let's set up and go for a drive in the snow, because, you know, we need to. Forwards. Brake key. Power. Train lights because it's passengers. Instrument lights because it's going to get dark. And we want some... No, not that key. We want to go over there. We want to... Signal lights. And then we'll go up the back and turn on PZB. You can just use your shortcut keys, obviously, to turn on PZB, but, you know, to me... The fact that you have to go outside is a good part of the fun, and we should be in the high-speed gear, which we are. Let's go outside. Because this is the world. This is the world in Train Sim World. Let's turn on Buzz, but not Sifa. That should be fine for passenger, mode 0 and R, that should be perfectly okay. So we shall leave that as it is. Do the right thing and climb down rather than leaping out. I have to say Make's done a good job on the climb in, climb out. It's all very free, just works nicely. Alright, we should probably open the doors when we're going to do PZB. And look, 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 it's snowing inside the station under the roof, just like we love. Let's have some windscreen wipers. Left-hand wiper? I suppose so, we might get the occasional signal we're going to have to see on that side. Get the brakes releasing. Let's let the train start to pump up. Apply the independent or the direct brake, and we'll be right. In a moment, we'll get out of here. For yet another run to Lubeck. Woohoo! And then we should probably do the cab car, shouldn't we? So we come back the other way. It's a good thing this is a short route, isn't it? Okay, off we go to Haswellbrook. Open the window even though it's snowing. Just sounds better. think it's safe to release at all. I'm just going to ignore that. Because if I didn't ignore that, PZB would have gone. So how about that? It'll partner with a 112. It's kind of cool, actually, that works. It's got tail lights on both ends, but we'll ignore that. Well, I'll ignore that. You don't have to. Snow blowing in from the outside, you reckon, you Burke? Could be. Pretty soon. Let's just move our field of view slightly so we can see these gauges. So the needles don't light up on the other ones. That's a bit sad. We should feed that back. We need our needles to be lit up. How much German train drivers skirt with danger. Is it an RB service? No, still an RE. Why didn't I pick an RB? You lot should have told me to pick an RB. Then we could have stopped everywhere and we could have heard it accelerate so many more times. Should we do that? Should we go back and pick an RB? You guys can tell me. Thanks, you Burke. Have fun, mate. Ah! Did I make it? Did I make it? I made it! I think that was only just, but I made it. No acknowledge for that one. Alright, fair enough. If you guys would like me to run an RB instead of yet another RE service, let me know, because we can just click back and start again. I was just looking at that acknowledge, and there actually is a line of yellow. So I had 1 pixel to go. Get off there. That was acknowledged on the edge, indeed. Very much. Sparklies. Why are our Dostos giving us sparklies? How weird. What if I turn the cab lights on? Light? You can see the cab light. Look at that. That's cool. I like it when silly things like that work. Cab lights off. Cab lights off. Can't turn cab lights off. Shift out. There we go. Cab lights off. I have to remember the key. It's good to play whack-a-mole. I just realised that you guys can't see all those gauges that I was talking about before because I'm on top of them. So I'll put myself over there. Now you can see them. Oh, we have to stop here, don't we? That'd be a good idea. That'd be a very good idea. See how well she stops in the snow. Do it. Excellent. Let's just reduce the braking pressure so we can. It starts pumping the train back up again. Whack-a-Mole Train Sim World 4 Edition. That's what box is for. I'm sure you guys have met box before. This is box. So that's left door's open, CIFA. Right door's open, PZB acknowledge, release, PZB free, and the middle button, I can't remember what that does. I got an extra green button when I ordered this thing, so I just put it in the box. And it is basically just a keyboard. So it's a little joystick and game controller that can emulate a keyboard, so it is. Alright, off we go. Now, do you want me to complete yet another run in this thing in the dark, or do you want me to show the cab car that comes with it? We are interlocked. Why are we interlocked? Why? Oh, we're not interlocked now. It's fine. I just did things too quickly, I think. Earn your money 112, you got to keep up with that. Tam, when you get this train, you'll definitely be driving it on the different routes it subs into for sure. I want to get the class 380 first when it releases, then Sherman Hill, and then the livery pack next as well. I'll tell you what, Tam Walker. What do you play on, Tam Walker? You play on Steam? Yep, we can do a run with the cab car. I think that's a good idea. Rather than yet another run to Lubex. Let's do an emergency brake, because we can. How quick does it stop in the snow? Isn't it funny, we used to look at TOD 3 nights and go, that's pretty good. But then we got TOD 4 nights and we went, oh. Okay, let's do the cab car. So, Tam Walker, while I'm doing this, let me get the thing started. And then I will go find a link to my Discord. Because if you're on Discord, jump in there. Because I've been giving away routes all day. This is what we want. RE83. Is there an RB with the cab car? There are no RBs. We've only got expresses. Okay, we'll do a 11 AM. Why not? And we'll leave it dynamic. Series X. Ah, in that case, I can't really help you. Because if you played on Steam, I could give you a key for Sherman Hill. But you're on the Series X. I don't have any Xbox keys, unfortunately. Now I've got to remember how to do the cab car, and this, of course, won't be loud. Train power engine group. They're off, aren't they? Okay, so I need to go into neutral, because I'm going to have to start them. Should probably start with group 1, shouldn't I? They probably don't make any difference, actually, these switches. But there is another one that I have to turn on. Transmission power. And air compressors on, so that's fine. These are the PZB ones. Desk light we don't need. Signal lights normal is fine. Doors. Instrument lights. We need to open our doors. Left hand, left hand. And we have to go up here and do headlights. And PZB is turned on with a fuse here. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to go wandering down the other end while we're doing doors up here. Because I want to know if the loco's running down the back, given those switches were off. Because if it is, fine, but if it's not, that's a bit weird that you have to cold start. Yeah, she running. And what lights have we got on? We have tail lights on, magic. Peppers? Peppers, please? What's that mean? Probably. Culturally insensitive, I think, of the words. Alright, so this thing's going to be a little bit quieter, funnily enough. Is it time to lock the doors? It is time to lock the doors. I haven't turned the brake key. Almost forgot the brake key, so we'll release the brakes. Looks promising. Pressure's going up in the train pipe. Pressure is reducing in the cylinder. And forwards. And in theory, off we go. And we've got a little light, so that should mean we're working up the back there. It's promising, but let's jump out here. We can listen to the thing come past. It's so quiet, isn't it? There goes the noisemaker. Nice and smoky. You can see what I mean about how the CEPHA light flickers. It's kind of annoying, but it's more annoying when the CEPHA light's not on. We are getting over 60. We're being very, very naughty. We're allowed up to 90 in a moment anyway, so it'll be fine. How do you find the Series X, Tam? I've got a Series S. I contemplate upgrading every now and again. There's a couple of specials on at the moment that make it a little bit attractive. So I'm contemplating, but I think there might be better specials when the new Series X comes out. Whether it's a launch special for the new one, or the old one gets cheaper because of the new one or the other. But I'm sort of in two minds about upgrading, because I kind of like to keep the S, because the S is the common denominator amongst the consoles. So it is Gen 9, but it's not quite because it hasn't got as much RAM, not as much video memory. So it is actually a good one to stream from, because when you get people saying, oh, it's really rubbish on the S, I can go, well, here it is. It seems to be working okay. Or not, as the case may be. Sometimes it's not. TSW will smash me at some point if I stay up there. 51 k's of silence to Haswellbrook. You don't get any nice snazzy gauges in this one to look at. It is basically exactly the same as the other one, except that it's set up for diesel rather than electric. So you do have, this is new. I think that light's new as well from last time. We've got the engine groups, but I kind of think they probably don't do anything. And we've got the transmission power switch, which is hidden under throttle 15 now, but it's down there anyway. We had to turn that on before. Am I going too fast? How naughty of me. I shall rectify that. But we'll just let gravity do it. Tam said, I thought that's why you were asking. It's all good. Into US freight now. Enjoy them Clinchfield, which good map he's working on. Prefer classic routes or trains, just so much character. Yeah, I quite like the Clinchfield route. Clinchfield. It's one of the better TSW3 routes, scenery-wise and operations. Managing your train down to big hills is a lot of fun. Because the routes like Sherman and Cajon, I mean, yeah, I play them, and I'll quite happily stream them, and I can make crap up that makes it seem interesting, but driving a train for 3 hours is a bit too much like work for me. Well, we're allowed to go faster now, so we will. But doing a run on Clinchfield for an hour and a half or 2 hours is actually a lot of fun, because you're on it all the time. You're just at stuff. You're always having to look after your train handling. I do like the German attitude to freight. 100 kilometers an hour. And this 25 kilometers an hour stuff that you get from the American freight. Whoosh, as they say. I'm sad that it's got no RB services. I mean, it might not be prototypical, but stopping all stations is more fun for me. So you can guess what I'll probably end up doing in free roam. Water was cold. Nice. Little light bulbs. Crank angle. Can you tell it's moving around in relation to the other cars? Yeah, I think you can with the suspension. With the n-wagons have suspension. Do they? I think they do. Because you're actually seeing some wheel movement here, up and down. Not much, a little bit. A little bit of side to side too. Just got belted by a train, did you notice that? Being naughty again. Too busy looking at the wheels. Cam says Matt putting Todd 4, and I think he said Forum putting more services onto Clinchfield will be minted. Anything can add, I'll be happy. And back to what you're driving, TSG. Look, done good job with the Loco. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, TSG is a guy named Make and a couple of other people. Very, very passionate individual. Loves working on the game. Loves his trains. Hello, Anarchist Angel. It's been a long, long time. How are you? Have you taken over the world yet? If not, why not? Explain yourself. Of course we'd end up there. I was just about to say look at the hoses jiggle, but then we got hit. There's definitely some moving around in there. Good to see. The collision's about right on the buffers too. They're not really disappearing into each other, which is nice to see. Work kept Anarchist Angel busy, but I'm in the home office because I'm recovering from surgery. Oh, I hope you're recovering well. That's also why I did not achieve complete world domination yet. I'll accept your excuse. We are looking at the new 218. And we have to... Hello, what do you think of the 218? Is it moving you? That's pretty bad, wasn't it? Yeah, I kind of think the n-wagons probably do have suspension, Gav. I wonder if the old ones do now as well, or if this is completely different and replaced. Guess we'll find out. No problems. I was just accepting your excuse that you hadn't completed world domination yet. We're doing a quiet run in the cab car compared to the noisy run from up the back here. This thing. Big, brutish and noisy. Exactly the way a train should be. Just stay here. Has a red signal coming. Thank you, HUD. Imagine if you didn't have the HUD. You'd be scrambling now. At work, your colleagues dislike the 218 because it's a West German locomotive. It has the nickname Schorbrennhafen, which translates to, I can't see the word because it's under the little heart thing, of screws, but I guess bucket of bolts or something. I think I already acknowledged that. It's fine. Ooh, beeped. Never heard of beep before. Pile of screws. Ah, yes. We'd probably translate that more as bucket of bolts. Because it sounds like someone with a can or a bucket full of bolts going. This is going to confuse the passengers. We slowly roll through to avoid them thinking I have to open the doors. We wait for our signal to clear. Hopefully it does. Oop, got to remember I'm in monitoring too when I take off from here. The train on platform 6 is not stopping at this station or picking up passengers. Oh, hello. That looks like. How did I end up? I'm inside it. Alright. Is that a... what is that? 628. Yeah. Okay. We could have a drag race shortly if our signal ever changes. It hasn't yet. I'm going to have to stop soon. I'm probably going to have to stop about now. So I don't think we're going to get a drag race with the 628. Let's see what's holding us up. We seem to have the path. Unless it's going to let the 628 out in front of us, which is possible. Or are we waiting for you? Are you going to cross our track somewhere? I wouldn't think so. It'd seem a bit weird unless it's going up that way. It's possible though, I suppose. It's the only other train we can see. Let's see if there's anything out in front of us. No, nothing in front of us for quite a while. It's a big signal block though. There's a light engine coming. There's a red signal there. I don't know. Let's just sit and wait for a little while and see what it is. That is crossing our path, isn't it? That's on our track. Where's that going to go? Because, oh, the train there's gone, isn't it? I don't know, train sitting there. Oh, it's going all the way into that platform. Alright, we'll get the green in a moment. I think, he says confidently. There we go. Oops, I'm still interlocked. There we go. I powered up too early. Just got to watch my speed, or I'm going to get whacked. I'm watching it on the rail driver. That should reset when we pass that signal though, I hope. Safe to release. Fantastic, we will. but let's hear it accelerate, shall we? RB, hello. Lexic Duck says one word for pile of screws, and all I got was Schneidefreud. Okay. Yes, my pronunciation's probably really bad. RB says slowly. Anarchist Angel says no, I'm the driver. Gab says, is that you pulling the emergency release? Well, that was fast. Gav says, and Lexi is in the cab car pressing every button. Yes, no doubt about that. Lexic Dark, only the metaphorical buttons. Touching public property is a health risk. Well, you could sanitize. You could wear gloves. Anarchist Angel says, our customer service employees often hang out in the unused cab so they don't have to be in contact with the passengers all the time. Yeah, it sounds like ours. You look back along the train and you can see a conductor in a reserved carriage by themselves because they've got sick of the passengers. Which is fair enough. RB says, how old is the locomotive? Is it first built in the 60s? I vaguely think so. Let me find its Steam page. That sounds... Actually, let's just look it up. DB BR 218 history. $1968, there you go. And there was another set from 1971 to 1979. Yeah, I think Florian's right that this is the later version. Glad we don't see hedges like that anymore on routes. That was a little bland. No one's asked for the cab car horn yet, but let's blow it. Another little meep meep. Some ubiquitous Dostos. Cruising along at 125 kilometers an hour. Stefan, hello. Another one from New Zealand. We had another person in the chat earlier who was from New Zealand. May still be here. I am back from the UK. Let's try and get onto the platform before the 218 gets there. You don't get to see it much at 136 kilometers an hour. I hope you're well. Had a lot of fun in the UK. Got to fire a couple of locomotives. I got to fire Dolgok, and I got to fire another one unexpectedly on East Lancs. Got to play there a little bit. Had another cab ride on Bluebell and a cab ride on, an also unexpected cab ride on the other one, North Yorkshire Moors, which was good. It's always good to have an unexpected play day. I knew I was going to get to fire a loco on Talathin, and I got Dolgok. And Dolgok's a fun loco. It's quite nice. It's only a little thing. It's about probably... the boiler's probably about a third the size of one of Puff's NAs. The firebox is tiny. You don't need to make much of a mistake for the needle to go boo. It was a really good trip. So I visited, I mean, there's 180 something heritage railways in the UK. It's kind of their thing. I better start slowing down, hadn't I? I'm going to interlock myself braking that quickly too, but that's life, isn't it? You need to slow down. That'll be fine. There we go. Just about in the right spot. Put some power back on now. A little bit. I did bring back a shovel. You're going to want to see it, aren't you? Hang on a tick. I half expected to come back and discover PZB had stopped me. But yes, there is the shovel. It's a bit heavier than Puff's shovels, slightly bigger. Much bigger face, deeper. I'm not too sure how it'll go on the NAs, but it's going to be excellent on the Garrett, which I am firing next Monday. And I'm being a bit quick. In fact, by the time I've reacted to being too quick, guess what? It's time to accelerate. So let's go up the back and listen to it again, because we need to. N-wagen's probably not quite as polished as they look, Stefan. They're currently going through the things that a lot of railways do go through. They are struggling to maintain their standard cash-wise, and they've got a little bit of a clash going on between management and volunteers. But it's definitely a good operation. They run a lot of trains. They share. They've got their own line, but they also share part of the main line with Northern Trains. And they actually run more services on the main line than Northern Trains do, which is pretty amazing. There are local people who use the North Yorkshire Moors for commuting, and they have tickets for that. So I played on Bluebell, got the cab ride in Bluebell. I did actually meet... Which one did I meet? Jessica, I think. The son of... daughter of David Moyle. I got to play on Talathin. I went to Festiniog and to Welsh Highland Railway. They're a lot of fun, both of those. What else did I do? West Somerset, had a couple of days running on West Somerset. Got some cab rides on West Somerset, but I didn't fire there. And did East Lancs, the National Rail Museum, and North Yorkshire Moors. Sure, I've forgotten a railway. I know I have. Llangollen. I got to play on Llangollen too, actually. I didn't fire, but I got to ride in the cab, which was good. Up the front with a DMU. It was a 107, 108, one of those. But that was fun. Gab says another game could be Bush Sim World 6 coming to your local stores near you on all Xboxes, PlayStations, PCs, your fridge, Tesla Smart TV, Google Hub, Apple TV, and all older consoles and your iPhones. So Bush Sim World would be something from the 70s, right? When everything was bushy. Electric Dark expects a shovel review. Well, I can tell you it's got a good handle. Nicely built. I was thinking that I'd be able to separate the handle from the blade so that I could bring it back in inside my bag instead of having to bring it in an oversized box. But no, it's so well attached to the handle, there's no getting it off without a drill. But yeah, we'll see how she goes. The big banjo, significantly bigger than Puff's shovels, so it might actually be difficult to get into the corners of the firebox on an NA with it, on the back corners. But loading up would be good, that size shovel. But it's definitely going to be excellent on the Garrett, because the Garrett going up the hill in a Gembrook, it's just a shovel fest. And if I can halve the shovel fest by moving more coal, good. Stefan says the Loco is a nice model, except for needing a few more sides on the tube the headlight's attached to. Let's have a look. That one. Looks alright to me. What do you mean one of these? Could do with some rounding. Oop, we're inside. Hello people, how you doing? You enjoying your trip? Having fun? We're heading to Hazelbrook, next stop. 14 k's away. You'll all enjoy it if I don't brake really hard on the way because PZB bit me. Speaking of PZB, I should probably pay attention to it. We can go faster now anyway. Oh, look at that. 46 k's in the Bnrdzf. And the TV show made it seem like a bit of a circus. I think it's probably pretty close that Northern should lease from North Yorkshire Moors rather than the other way around. And yes, some of the locos were a bit bigger than what I'm used to, definitely, yeah. It was kind of funny at Festiniog because I shelled out and I bought one of the posh people's seats. This lovely big comfy armchair in an observation coach. And I was talking to the fireman and driver on the Garrett and they said, why didn't you ask about coming up here? And it's like, mate, I fire one of these things. I know what you do. I don't want to do it again. It's almost the same as ours, except they had vacuum brakes, so they don't have the air compressor. And their turret was a little bit different to ours too. It was a different shape. But apart from that, it was pretty much identical. They've got a bottom dump ash pan, which we don't. With ours, you've still got to get it out and wash it out of there. Stream just got an AO rating, only if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it could be bad lod. You never know when you see something it hasn't drawn it because it hasn't gotten around to that particular tick. Happens too. Bye train. I'll go back to Maintalbahn before we finish and show you the suspension again, because it's most obvious on Maintalbahn, because Maintalbahn the track's all hand laid, so it's all wobbly. None of it's flat. Stefan says, yeah, you don't go on holiday, you do your usual job. Exactly. Besides, on the Welsh Highland Railway, it is a job a little bit like Puff, because you leave Porthmadog and it's basically uphill all the way to Carnarvon. There's a little bit of downhill, but mostly it's uphill. there's some pretty solid firing going on. Am I going too fast again? What a naughty boy then. I am doing 144 kilometers per hour. It's pretty good for an n-wagen. I'm surprised it hasn't launched yet. But seeing how the different railways operate was quite good. On one of the railways, I won't say which one because it's a bit mean, but on one of them there was a trainee fireman in one of the cab rides I had, and he annoyed the driver, and he got a taste of what happens when you annoy your driver. The reverser went into full forward gear and the regulator went to the roof, and the young fella was wondering where all his steam went. Because he had lots before he did that. .7 Ks. Oh, looks like we have a red signal coming up. Thank you, HUD. Which has gone green, but I have to slow down anyway, so that's fine. You know what's really funny? I was looking at that gauge going, what does that represent? But of course it's a bloody clock. Just got asked if I want ice cream with hot fudge. Probably not on stream, but I'm nearly finished anyway. I just realised there's 301 people watching this behind the stream. Catch up, people. Catch up. Watch it live. It's more fun live. Yeah, we do appear to have a... Oh no, it's gone away again. It's these false reds. Stefan says, I don't particularly agree with that approach with trainees because they don't learn much, but no, this guy was actually being quite annoying, so I perfectly understood why the driver did it. And the driver looked at the training fireman, and he looked at me, and we're all just sort of smiling, because we all know what's going on. It's only his trainee didn't. Nice little 363 sitting over there. Always like a 363. Seems to be always there too, that one. I don't think I've ever been a run on this route and I haven't seen it. Lexic Dark says when I push the live button it goes back half a second. Well, that's weird. It's actually going to be weird for me, Stefan, because I was looking at the upcoming roster, and I've got a trainee soon. It's always a little bit of a novelty. Weird. I know the guy, he's a good guy, and he's fired mainline, but I'm not actually sure how much he's fired on Puff. I'll have to have a chat with him at the start of the day and work out how he would like to approach the day. Gratuitous slow speed bridge shot. Just so we don't get into a red. Oh, it's gone green anyway. Fine. We can probably get into the station in that case. No, he's fired before. He just... not sure he's fired on Pupping Billy. So I've been locked. Try again. There we go. But we'll approach the day the way he wants to approach the day. If he wants to watch me, that's fine. If he wants to do the job, that's also fine. I don't really mind either way. Coming into our one and only station stop before we get to our final destination. This station's drawing a little menkily. That's better. Slods aren't quite right, I don't think. I wonder why there's a fence at the back of it. It's a bit weird. What if you've got a train that stops there? That'll do. Anyway there. It's usually it breaks slower from the cab car. I'm pretty sure we're in an outside camera shot there, and we are. Let me go up the back when we accelerate away so people who haven't heard it yet can hear the 218 do its thing, because it is quite nice. Just check signals. We are green all the way, so let's go up the back and let's fang it. Actually, let's go straight to top throttle. Why not? I believe I just got hit by a Dosto, but anyway. So she sounds quite nice. Can't let it all wind all the way out though, because I have to slow down soon anyway. What should you eat for lunch? How about a hamburger? Hamburger sounds nice. Surprised we're getting some stuttering there. It's not as though we haven't driven this route 4 times tonight already. I'll go over to Main Toolbarn and show the suspension again, and then we'll call it quits for tonight, because what have we been on for now? Fair while. Coming up on the 3rd hour. It is quite a nice sound, Florian. I think there's a good job has been done on this one. Suspension's a bit extreme on Main Toolbarn because Main Toolbarn's extremely rough, and it's actually a good one to show suspension off, which is why I'll go there. But at low speed, I assume there'll be some points coming up here somewhere. Let's go and have a quick look. I should have some points somewhere before we get into the station, surely. At low speed, you see it a lot more than high speed. Alright, there's a set of points here, so we'll see it here when it comes through. So we'll sit back here and watch it. We're doing 35, so that's okay. So at low speed it is quite exaggerated, and that's deliberate so that you can see it. But at higher speeds you don't see it that way, so gravity should slow us down enough to get down to a slow speed, but most of the time it's like this. It's not rock solid, you can see it moving, but it doesn't move very much. So they're going up quite a steep, whoops, thank you HUD, going up quite a steep hill at the moment, so I'll put a little bit of power on, or we're going to slow down too much. Getting close to where those points are, so we should see it again soon. It probably won't be as rough as Mantelbarn though. Just thinking how funny would it be if the points meant that we were on the other side of the wall when it went through them. We're about to go through them, I think. You should see it bounce the most on the V, assuming it does it on this route. Yeah, so it's not moving much on Hamburg at all. Tiny bit there, but not much. But on Mantelbarn we'll certainly see it. Yeah, this one's had some good work done. Let's see what these points do. Just got to be careful because I'm coming into that station. About to come into another set here. Yeah. So on smooth track you don't see it that much. Another one here. On the rougher American track I'm expecting to see it more, because that's actually modelled rough, because it really is. Should be safe to watch it go through the trailing points here. I think we just missed a set actually. It's probably getting a bit too quick to show it off too. Let me bring the speed right down. Maybe not that much. No, I don't want to unlock the doors. Not yet. So on good track you don't see it too much, but let's pop over to Mantelbarn after I get this stopped in the right place, and then we'll have a look at it there. It says here accelerating into a red in a station the game already thinks he's stopped at. That'll do. We're enough in the station there. Open the doors. Wait while it does a little loading thing. So for those of you who haven't been in the stream very long, there's bits of the thing that are quite visible that you can see into, which is kind of cool. Stuck on a pole there, can't quite get into that one. You can see bits in the machine room. And this window, you can see a little bit of the engine in here. So it's quite cool. You can get into some of that, so we'll have a look at that when we go over to Mantelbarn. Lock doors into this one. Ooh, I think I just had an out-of-body experience. I think that was my own eyeballs I saw go past then. Alright. Main me and you. And train depot 222-218. I'm gonna have to type it. Looks very red when I do that, doesn't it? Mantelbarn, and we'll go back to that same service I used in the short because that shows it off best. And I'll try not to spad this time. Maybe. Alrighty, let's get this set up. I won't bother with PZB because then we'd have to go up the other end. Not that one, this one. You have to get up to do some of the switches. That's about it. Have I done the brake key? I have. Just released the brakes. Clearly talking too much. Alright, let's get outside so we can watch things happen. We're going a bit quick for this. See, on the rougher Mantelbarn track, it's quite rough. So it's nice and bouncy. Hello, Syke, how are you? Just being careful I don't spad this time. Mind you, where is the red signal that gets me? Oh, it must be just a mandatory stop thing and I've got to get permission to get out, would be my bet. Oh, I should do it this way, shouldn't I? So is it that thing there? I guess that must be it. I just have to stop. Or is there something further around the corner? That one. Halt. That's the one. That's where I spattered last time. Let's get moving. Once the brakes come off and I'm allowed to go. Lots of brakes, lots of brakes, lots of brakes. I'm going to spad. Oh. But anyway, you get the idea. You got to see the suspension. That curve as you come round there is an excellent test for bogies. It really is. But that's okay. It'll do. But anyway, that's about all I wanted to show people tonight. And this is just gone over the third hour of the stream and it's approaching my bedtime. And Wench did remind me it's time to go and have some dessert. So, you know, you like dessert, trains, dessert. Yeah, ice cream's going to win, you know that. Alrighty, well, have fun, folks. I will probably stream this one. Yeah, Sunday stream, I think we'll do some 218 action around the different German routes that we can have it on. And then we'll have a bit of fun. Anika Angel getting a spad on by an RA10. Yep. And thanks for showing suspension. I'm looking forward to the Loco. I will enjoy my dessert. Thank you. And sorry that you missed most of it, Psych, but a rewind, mate. You've got 3 hours to watch, should you care to. All right, folks. I've got tutorials live for this thing. So it covers setting it up. It covers PZB. It covers CFA. Covers resetting after emergency stop. All those sorts of things. I'll probably make another one that recovers how to get out of it when you get interlocked like we did in the stream. That was a bit funny, but I think I know how to make that work now. And I have been asked for a cold start too, so I might figure that out and do a cold start one as well. Alrighty, folks, enjoy yourselves. It's been awesome as always. Thank you very much for the chat. I really appreciate the huge chat that comes in from the community. And how to recover from a SPAD. How about how not to go through red signals? That'd be a good one. Anyway, enjoy yourselves, and I shall catch you all on Sunday. DTG and Make are running a stream on this tomorrow. Weirdly, not today. But there you go. Anyway, have fun. See ya.